questions? You absorbed it all. Man, first, oh! Mark, what's your question?
I was wondering if there was any possibility that maybe you could take that table, put it in the middle, maybe Dawn and Wendy and Misty and yourself could talk about, you know, how do you build trust, you know, really, really fast? Because Dawn went ahead, and Misty and Wendy, both, I've seen them trust themselves very, very quickly and trust others. And then Dawn, like for the pre-event, you know, dinner we had last night, she committed to 10 years. And I'm just curious as to, like, how did that transpire? And I thought maybe the four of you could, I don't know, shed some light to us on how that might have happened.
Come on out. Come on down. The new Price is Right. No, it's all right. Come on down. Have a seat. 10 years is a big commitment.
It would seem like
You
it.
probably should have asked for a lifetime commitment. Next time.
Bigger next time.
No? All right. Here's the panel. And the question is, how do you develop trust like that? So what happened last night? And why was there so much trust developed? And why did you commit to? Let's start there.
Accepted an invitation, enjoyed the people, enjoyed the conversation, thought they had the same vision that I had in life to be successful, to achieve, and I want to follow people. I'm realizing I've lived half my life. I'm starting my second half of life. I had a big birthday this summer, and I'm just wanting to make some changes in my life, wanting to be around successful people and go places they're going and help each other get to where we both want to go.
So the question Mark asked you was to being part of a mastermind group, which is, this is a mastermind group.
Right.
There's other mastermind groups as, you know, satellite groups as well. So when he said, would you commit for 10 years, how quickly did you respond?
I said yes right away. Had a phone call with him, just met him 3 days ago. He invited me to a Coffee Connection group, and
Which
I
is
showed
another
up.
mastermind group.
Right, and I showed up there, and he asked me that question, and I said yes. And I think it's just my determination and my will, and I've had a message over my head that I keep hearing over and over again, and I've spoken to groups on it, is perseverance. And I believe persevering for 10 years, you know, I want to persevere longer. I want to achieve results longer, but if it takes 10 years to get to a better place and to commit, he's telling me 10 months, not 10-year commitment, but 10 months, things are going to happen, things are going to change. I'm willing to jump in with both feet and get there.
So in Misty's picture that she painted for us in our minds, which is a picture we can take with us forever now, we don't have to keep referencing the actual drawing, because she painted a word picture. Learn to paint word pictures like Misty. Okay. In the word picture, this amazing mountain, colorful at the top, it's great, but in the valley it's gray, and it's colorless, and you can barely make out a path, and at the very end of it there's a whole lot of dead bodies, a lot of casualties of people that did not persevere, did not make the commitment, and it was just at the point where they were about to succeed, and that's where they died, that's where they gave up, that's where they failed. So your husband was there last night when he wasn't at the Coffee Connection. So now when Mark asked the question for the second time, which I guess was pretty intentional, knowing Mark, now what was your husband's response when did you tell him about that in between Coffee Connection and last night?
I did. And so as Mark explained to my husband, you know, him being the leader of our home and being my husband, if he was to say no, even though I said yes to the commitment, he would understand and respect that. And so I was kind of waiting on my husband to see, okay, he met Mark, was he okay with this? And his question was, what does the commitment involve? And so then Mark asked me again, are you committing? And I hesitated and asked, I need to know what's involved now too, because I was kind of following my husband's lead, like, okay, we need to find out more. And I was waiting for him to say it was okay before I committed again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Misty, Wendy, your take on what happened and the effect that it had on you?
Wendy, go ahead.
That's delegation. That's delegation right there.
I thought it was an interesting process to watch. I was there for both situations. I definitely felt in the first situation, I could feel it being more around you. And then I could see exactly what you were saying just now. There was a shift where you maybe weren't owning it, or you were giving it to somebody else. So I could see the shift where from Tuesday, where it was all you, and then last night, it definitely, you let go of the ownership of it. I could totally see that.
Yeah, I mentioned to Mark that, you know, he asked me why I needed to know what was involved. I said, well, I need to be realistic. I need, you know, there's something involved, obviously. And my husband was asking, is there money involved? You know, is there this, is there that? And Mark didn't really have an answer. He was saying no, but then I thought, I didn't commit to anything specific. So what's the harm? I do trust Mark, even though I just met him. I do trust the vision that he has, and I have been on the visionproject.net and, you know, scoped it out a little bit, and I thought, wow, this is something I want to get involved in. And so at the end of the night, he asked me, thumbs up, thumbs down, yes or no, and I said yes, I'm all in.
So without committing to anything specifically, you just trusted the integrity of Mark, of the system. After 2 meetings, an invitation, about an hour and a half on a Tuesday, an hour, because you had to get to work.
I think it's partly my intuition that this is a good thing, and I've been in prayer about it. You know, God, lead me where you want me to be and direct my path. And I believe He's been doing that the last couple of days, because a lot of other things have been happening in my husband's life besides this. We have college tuition coming up. We closed our company a couple years ago, and we have a big box truck for sale. We've got a $7,500 sticker on it. Somebody called on it yesterday. So
awesome.
It's another answer, and
Huge.
a couple other things have happened, so yeah.
And so it's cool that your husband's on board. That was kind of a pretty big component, I guess. I would think, do you see the process? It's like if you're making the commitment, yeah, thumbs up, great. But if your husband says no, then there's your back door. Because it's got to be together. So when you're dealing with couples, maybe that's a good question to ask. Making sure that they're both on board on something, because that's the easiest way to rip up a relationship if they're not on board. But it's the fastest way to make it work and go deep and keep clients for life. Right? Let's take what this looks like overall. Anything else you'd like to share? Misty, what's your thoughts on this?
So when I first met Mark, it was all over the phone. Kind of how the whole situation was orchestrated was odd. It was actually an interview process with some really weird shape pizza questions. But when I talked to him on the phone, they asked me to talk to him on the phone, I told him little information, and I'm always very skeptical. I always observe, and I always try, and I don't trust well. So in a 30-minute conversation, he, just by asking me the questions, the shape questions and the pain questions, he immediately told me who I was. I bet you have this effect at work. I bet this is how people work around you. You know, kind of ABC, and I think that's probably what we've all felt. And we were like, that's weird.
how do you know that much about me? So for me, it was more now of my goal to learn how to do what he does, but better. So in no way am I capping out at being him. I want to be better than
There you
him.
go. That's right.
You know?
That's right.
High five, right? So that's become my goal. And I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like, oh, this is so great, it's so wonderful. There's been tough times. There's been times that I've cried. There's been times I've wanted to quit. There's been times I've hung up the phone and said I'm never getting back on another mastermind call in my life. But I do. Because he keeps challenging me, and I think that he keeps building me and helping me reach that goal. Whether it's through forms of manipulation, I feel, or pushing your coach, whatever it is, I'll pout for a while and I'll take a break. And now that he's kind of known me, because I've been going on almost a year now, he'll say, ah, she's pitching a little fit, she'll be back. And I do. I cry, get over it, and I come back. And then that just makes me stronger, because if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger. And he's not out to kill me. He's actually trying to help me reach my goal. So it was entertaining, kind of, last night to watch the same personality come up against him.
My husband.
Yes. So it was like,
Videotape that?
we did not. It was like a movie. I kept asking, do you guys have popcorn? Like, this is great. Because he was just as intense as Mark. You know, it's like Mark and your husband were so intense. Your husband's like out of his chair. He was like, answer my question, and Mark was not answering the question. So for
I
me,
can't, wait. He wouldn't answer the question? I can't imagine Mark.
Yeah, that was him.
that was the look. You know, like, I don't know. I don't know what I want you to commit to. What do you want me to commit to? I don't know.
What
Can
does
you
it
not just
involve?
commit?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, can you just have faith to trust me? So, you know, in that event, the trust was the biggest issue. You know, it wasn't about money, it wasn't about anything, it was about, and I seen it, about halfway in between, that if you just take the commitment, he would probably then reveal to you more, you know, quicker what the commitment was, because there was so much question about it. That was a game. That was fun for Mark. So it continued for hours. So and I was processing it, because I want to be as good as him and better. So I was like, you know. And he just kept saying, "Why are you not talking? I have nothing to say." But I'm just observing. So I think what you're going to find is sometimes your goal has to be bigger than your opposition, and you have to have faith to trust that commitment. And that's hard for all of us.
But isn't that one of the biggest
Most rewarding.
things
Yes.
when it comes to creating clients for life? Isn't it trust? Isn't it? I mean, tell me, I haven't been in business as long as other people. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know everybody's business intensely.
Trust and integrity.
It's what?
Trust and integrity.
Trust and integrity. I don't think as a CPA handling so many people's money over so many
Yes.
periods of years, typically called years or decades,
Yes.
periods of years. That's what a college education does for you kids. Don't go. Just joking. Just trying to wake some people up that are still dozing off in na-na land out there. Trust and integrity. Trust and integrity. Because but people don't just hand you their money and they go, take care of it. It's, I trust you. And, you know, I'm not going to come to get coaching unless I trust you, right? Or implement what you said, because, you know, if there's no trust, but that's why you have to develop it immediately, and that's why it's asking questions, right? Any other observations? Questions?
Wendy, your story, how did you, because you were kind of holding, see, people don't think you can get other people to trust you or your company or your system quickly, but you can. There is a system, there is a process that is very, very precise, and you master that system, you master that process, and you're going to be able to do it. And so So Misty and Wendy both had very substantial trust issues.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I do.
it's not like, oh, they just trust everybody, because they don't. To get through their grid, to get through the maze is really, really hard. I mean, it's very, very difficult. And both of them, similar, same process, tweaked a little bit. So Wendy, your story and how you were able to do it.
I don't know. I honestly, I was sharing this morning, or yesterday actually, I think, your husband, that I think God has led me to certain situations, and, you know, and I've just been able to recognize certain things at the right times, I think, and thank goodness for that. And when Mark came into my life just back in May, so again, it's still fresh, and we had our first 30-minute conversation on the telephone, had never met him. There was just something telling me that this is what I should do, and I didn't question it. I don't have an answer other than just that's what was supposed to happen.
But would you have stuck around if you didn't see the foundation of the system, of the people, the entire experience?
I love the entire experience. Like Missy was saying, yeah, there's struggles, and I've been so frustrated, and oh gosh. And then, you know, part of it is my own issues, and so my frustration most of the time is with me, not with Mark. You know, me getting over my own battles and having somebody push me, and so yeah, the structure, the system, the people, these meetings, they're all great. Yeah.
A number of people from around the country, I would encourage you to talk to these three ladies, because you can set up the same type of thing. This, obviously, there's a lot of work and talent and things that go into this, but there's something that's called a coffee connection. You get together, you just hang out, and there's a workbook that you can go through, and it's really simple, really easy, and you can do that all over the country. And you start hanging out with like-minded people, and you have a system, a process with tools and resources to be able to change people's lives, and you will be a magnet. And you don't need to be a professional speaker, you don't need to be, you know, you're amazing. You are amazing. You just have to find it. You just have to discover it. And when you discover how amazing you really are, and then you learn how to help other people discover their story and how amazing they are, you will attract so many people to you. It's just crazy. I mean, it's just like all kinds of high quality people will be drawn to you.
Thank you.